Hey, Christy Mattoon here. This looks a little bit foggy, but we're going to go with it anyway. I can only be on here for a few minutes. And I just wanted to talk about this for a second because I was in a conversation with a person, and I've had this conversation a few times recently, basically about karma and about the effects of karma. Um, and I'm kind of thinking of it a little bit differently at this point than I think some people do. The old idea of karma is that whatever you do, right, cause and effect. So if you do something, the effect that it causes is your karma. So positive, negative, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? You're going to have a consequence to everything that you do. And so sometimes we think about, okay, those karmic reactions, and they cause all these things in our lives. And it's just almost like we just let it happen. It's like you have um, no recourse, or you have no way of stopping it or handling it or doing anything with it. And I think that's totally false. I think it's very clearly totally false. If you're having negative karma in your life, you can counter it by doing something positive. It's pretty simple, actually. If you're having or you're seeing an effect in your life, or you're seeing a pattern in your life, you're seeing some kind of reaction in your life that's ongoing, you can counter it by doing something different. You can stop it by changing the nature of what you're doing that's causing that reaction. Because somewhere in there, you're doing something that's giving you the benefit you're getting, right, wrong, or indifferent. So changing that's going to change your karma, right? If you want to call it karma. I also think it's good to understand that sometimes what you do doesn't just cause your karma, it will cause a ripple effect throughout the planet, right? It causes a ripple effect throughout society. So your karma isn't always just your karma, it affects other people. The things that you do will affect people. There's like a chain reaction to it. It'll affect somebody down the road who's getting this reaction, and they're just thinking like, whoa, what did I just do? And we have no idea, like, how did what you do and the energy of that affect them? And this happens all the time. There's so many of us on this planet anymore. I don't believe karma is pure anymore, right? The concept makes sense and it should work that way, right? Whatever you do affects you and you get the consequence, but it doesn't work that way anymore. What your grandmother did, know it, don't know it, you might have no idea, right? It's kind of the idea of the unknown sin. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I'm paying the consequence. And it's something that happened generations ago. Karma, it's still karma. You didn't cause it, but you're paying for it. How do you handle stuff like that? Right? How do you even come to know? So the way you know it's an effect, right, from karma, because all of it, I believe, is that kind of idea, is if you're getting a reaction or you're getting a response in your life that you don't like and you don't want. That's karma. Question is, how do you change it? What do you do about it? Now, some people will say forgiveness, right? A process of forgiveness will actually release karma, and it does. But sometimes I don't think we do it right. Sitting there and going, okay, I release this and I forgive you, with no feeling attached to it, no inner, right? You got to have some inner juice going on. If you pull up that feeling first, find the issue that you're struggling with, and even if you don't know who you're forgiving or why you're forgiving him, and you just forgive the situation, if you can pull up the feeling first and then come at forgiveness, it'll be more effective, right? Because now we've got the body's chemicals going on, you've got the spirit involved, and you're doing this forgiveness work based on the feeling and based on, you're putting some buy-in to it, basically. If you're doing it from a standpoint of kind of contrary, where you're like, oh, this is really bugging me and I don't want it in my life anymore, I forgive it, let it go. But then you keep seeing the ramifications. Well, obviously you haven't let it go, right? Obviously the energy's still there. You didn't get rid of it. You didn't move it. So you have to come at it from a different aspect. The longer you hold negative karma, in your life, the longer you leave it there, if you see the repeated pattern and you see it churning and it happens again and again, and you leave it, over time, it's going to cause pain. It's going to cause suffering in your life, right? To the level of possibly even illness, even a physical, right? You're causing a physical malady or a physical illness inside your own system because of it. And we see this stuff all the time. And it's interesting when you get hold of a person that's like got a pain here or they've got a disruption in their system somewhere. Migraines are really good ones for this. Back pain is a really good one for this. I actually killed a bone in my foot because of a karma reaction. And obviously, because, the bone died and there's been surgeries and all kinds of stuff. The doctor said I would never be able to heal it or fix it. It was just going to be whatever it was. And I've got more movement and more um, movement back in my foot than they ever thought possible. And I think because I did the work, I did the forgiveness work. I went back and took care of the pain. I soothed the child, like the whole nine, right? I went back and did all the work. And sometimes I did it multiple times. And so I think that kind of stuff clearly makes a difference. And it's interesting to me when a person comes to me with physical pain and illness, and we can move it or begin a process of moving it by starting with whatever the pattern is they're seeing in their life and starting to get rid of the pattern. So we're not really addressing the problem. We're not addressing their pain. We're not addressing the illness. Like, it's there and we're holding it in that scope, but we're actually addressing other issues, other things, forgiveness, maybe fear, sadness, anger, right? Some of the latent emotions that go along with that stuff. And we address those and all of a sudden the problem starts resolving. So I think that's kind of fun. So I just wanted to get on here and explain that really quick. Karma is not always your karma, but do the forgiveness work anyway. Feel it first. You got to get in there and feel it. You have to have the emotional attachment to it because that's where the problem started. It came with a set of emotions. And if you just try and forgive it from a place of like you're flatlined and you're not really in your heart, you're probably it's going to fall flat. Your forgiveness isn't going to do anything. So feel it first and come at it from that angle first. And then do the forgiveness work. All right. I think that's it for right now. Blessings and peace. I hope this helps. You can always contact me at Christy@mindrewire.com. And I'd love to talk to you more about these kind of things. And also you can go to meetme.so/mindrewire and you can schedule an appointment to talk to me for free. It's 30 minutes usually. And it's a little strategy session where we can talk about what's going on and I can tell you what I'm seeing in it and how I can help you actually resolve it. So I give you that. Blessings and peace, and we will talk to you again soon.